Hello, good morning, students. Hope you are fine. Situation in Ranchi is not very good, so please take care of yourself. Well, today we will go further in database. Actually, few students asked me some questions on previous class. So first of all, I will just point out few important points. Those points they have raised. Then I will go to the next topic of discussion today. Okay. The relational database terms. This is the term where you find the relation, tuples, attributes. Like this is if this is a table, these are the columns: S name, status, city, and S hash. Okay, so this was taken as a primary key, and these are the various fields. So these fields, it is called attribute. You see, attribute, and the rows are called tuples, and number of rows present in the table is called cardinality. See, cardinality, and number of columns present in the table is called a degree. Okay, these are called the domains: city, status, S name, S hash. These are called the domains. Now definition, you see, it is a collection of the values from which value is derived from the column. Tuple, attributes are the fields or columns, degree are the number of columns, cardinal is the number of rows. Now most of the questions came from the key, to re-explain the keys. So yesterday we discussed, and you know also, especially there are 4 important keys: primary key, alternate key, foreign key, primary key, foreign key, alternate key, and candidate key. If this is a table, and name of the table is employee table, okay, it's clearly visible. This field is taken as employee ID field is taken as the primary key. Why? Last day I discussed the primary key must have the unique values and no repeated, unique values and no blank value, no null value. So this is one of the such fields, employee ID, which has no repeated value, no blank value. But primary key is the part of candidate key. Why? Candidate key is that key. The definition of key, definition of key is it is used for uniquely identify the rows of the table. Uniquely identifies. So because of its unique value, each row can be identified by this field. So any such field which has unique values and no repeated value are called the key fields. Now candidate key, all such fields is called the candidate key. Like see, employee ID, license number, it is an unique value, field of unique values. Passport number, field of unique values. So this is called the candidate key. Among the candidate keys, one field is taken as a primary key. So there are 4 candidate keys: employee ID, license number, three candidate keys: employee ID, license number, passport number. Yesterday we discussed Aadhaar number. Those are all unique values, the key fields, and that's why this is called candidate key. Those have the capacity to be a primary key. So one of those fields is taken as a primary key, that is employee ID. Now rest of the fields, license number, passport number, these are called the alternate key. So among the candidate keys, one field is taken as a primary key. Rest of the fields which has that properties to work as a primary key, or to properties of primary key, those are called the alternate keys. So alternate key and primary key will both belong to candidate key. Clear? Now the foreign key, another table, say table salary table, another table. Here employee ID is an key field. See, employee ID must be a key field. When a table having a key field and that key field is connected to another table, and in that case both of the fields should have the same name, same characteristics, some common values. So when this field gets connected with this field, it means a unique field of one table, salary table, which gets connected to another unique field, employee ID of employee table, then this table is called, this field is called the foreign key. And this table is called the child table. This with which it is getting connected is called the parent table. So foreign key belongs to the child table, and primary key belongs to the parent table. This is the relation between parent table and child table. Okay. Now we will gradually come on to the SQL commands. Before we start SQL commands, we will see how it works and what is the background. Especially SQL is a structure query language. It is an independent language that works in all the present databases. Definitely we will work on MySQL database, but there are many databases present in the market. PostgreSQL, Oracle, SQLite, Microsoft SQL Server. So we will work on MySQL. So all of these databases use structure query language, that is SQL. So SQL is a common language that is mandatory and indispensable for handling database. So the advantage is, if you learn the SQL in any of the databases, you can apply the same SQL commands. Almost 95 of the commands are same, 98% of the commands are same. You can apply that SQL command, those SQL commands in rest of the other databases. So MySQL is the most popular database. It is the most popular open source software database, which is open source software. Open source software, This is an open platform where many technical persons across the globe work together for the development of the softwares which could be easily, freely available to the common mass. Especially they have made this platform to combat the monopoly of the multinational IT companies, because they charge lots of money for purchasing their softwares. So parallelly, these people came forward and made a platform, global platform, where anyone can join and contribute his innovative idea for the development of the software. You can also join there, no problem to join. So it was basically developed in 1995, and after that gradual upgradation were taking place, and finally it has come in a very robust form and made it the most popular open source database language. So the features are just I discussed. The open source, free of cost, portability, easy to handle, security, lots of security is there, connectivity problem, no problem connectivity. It has great features of connectivity across the various softwares, and SQL works very efficiently here, very efficiently. I worked on Oracle also. I know it works much better than Oracle here, though Oracle is the costliest database in the current market, but there are lots of limitations of SQL application of SQL commands. Here those restrictions and limitations are not existing. So to talk on the database is basically in few categories. First of all is the DDL database, that is called data definition language. Most of the common one of the common database commands, like to create database, to make changes of the the structure of the database, alter command, drop command to remove the tables or remove the field. So all such kind of commands to create the table, to make the changes of the structure of the table, or to remove the table or to remove the columns, create command, alter command, drop command, these are in one bracket called DDL command, that is data definition language command. It is to create a database and table structure command. See, table structure command and create command. Next comes DML, data manipulation language. This is the most common and common command for the common users, like select. Select is the most common command. To read data from the database, we always start with select command. Insert command, to enter data in the database, enter records in the database, using insert command. Delete command, to remove any record data in the database. Update command, to make any modification in the table, update command. So all the data related command, data handling command, is called data manipulation language, DML. So please remember DDL, DML, and next come DCL, data control language, like commit, rollback, save point. Commit after transaction of the database, after executing various commands. Commit command saves all the previous transactions permanently. The transaction took place earlier are not the permanent. That can be undone also. But unless you press the commit command, run the commit command, it won't be undone. So commit command saves all the transactions permanently. Before commit command, if you use the rollback command undo all the previous transactions. That means it will come out of the recent updations or transactions. It will go back to the previous state before you fired the updation or made the transactions. So rollback and undo the previous activities. Save point is another such command in data control language to make a flag, to make a point up to which you want to make the transaction, or up to which point you want to make the changes, up to which point you want to make you want to save, like this. So I will explain when we will do the we will apply these commands. That is called save point. To fix in a big transaction, in a series of transaction, if you want to point out some place, that is called the save point. Save point A. So you can go back to the save point A. This fixation of the point can be done by the save point command. And last is transaction control language, TCL. Though these are not in your syllabus, TCL command. So here there is no scope of discussion in details. That is kind of to give the permission to various users, such commands we apply. So here is no scope of discussion on these commands right now. Next point comes various data types. So there are various data types used in SQL. One is numeric type of data type, string type of data type, date type of data type. Under numeric type of data type, decimal variable comes, int variable comes. So basically these two, decimal and int. Decimal values. How the decimal value is counted? When you make the size, when you create a table and use the data type of a specific field attribute as decimal, then the size is taken as, say, for example, say average number. If the data type is decimal, the size we write like 5,2. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means the examples of such as the 94.95 example. The 5 comma 2, the example of 5 comma 2 is this 84.95. so what is 5? 1 2 3 4 and 5, two whole numbers, 2 decimal digits, 2 to 4 and the decimal 5. So total number of characters in numbers, digits including decimal is 5. And comma 2 means 2 decimal digits. 5 comma 2 means 2 plus 2 4 plus 1 5 and 2 decimal values, that is this 95. So this is the example of decimal. Integers, it is always positive integers, and the whole number can be from minus this to plus this, and if you use the whole number positive, then the maximum size will be this, and the volume is 4 bytes. So basically we use these two. Now string. In string, the character char and varchar, basically these are the two variables, data types used in char and varchar. Char is a fixed length, 0 to 255 characters. The size does not change. But in varchar, how it is different? Varchar has a variable character. Varchar is variable character. It dynamically changes its size. It according to the value entered, the size gets changed. So what is the maximum size? Maximum size will be 65,535 bytes. So most of the cases varchar data type is used because it occupies less space. In char, always maximum 250 characters. If you use only few 10 characters, the rest of the field space will remain blank. So in each field it occupies 255 bytes of space, even you don't use it. But in the case of varchar, variable character, so size gets changed according to the value you enter. And the format of the date, YYYY-MM-DD. So this is the format of the date. Range of the years is 1000 to 999. This is a fixed length. So this is the format and this is the example. So here it ends today. Tomorrow again we will meet. Till then, goodbye.